Hello Shiny viewers, I am DS, your psychologist, and welcome to another episode on channel NITT. So I have been on a hiatus for some time, and that's because my laptop really crashed again. I had actually intended to buy a desktop 6 months later or before 6 months because the validity of a YouTube channel for monetization is 6 months. So what actually happened was 2 weeks after this laptop crash, I tried it again and it revived miraculously. So I decided to do shorter videos to protect this laptop because Premiere Pro actually generates a lot of heat which may actually damage the laptop. So in this episode, I'm going to talk about, are you born into your MBTI type or is it a matter of upbringing? So in psychology, a lot of traits such as extroversion or introversion are directly inherited from your parents. But when we talk about MBTI type, I do not believe in such heredity. That means to say, parents have nothing to do with your MBTI type. So in my personal observation, I have profiled a lot of different children and I also observed their parents. I found that parents' MBTI types have no correlation with children's MBTI type. You can have P-type parents, but the child can be very resilient and sensible and therefore the child can be a J-type instead. So MBTI type has no correlation with parenthood, let's say upbringing. So in this sense, we can safely say that MBTI type is not a hereditable characteristic. So if MBTI type is not a matter of upbringing or heredity, then what is it? We are born into MBTI types. So as a psychologist, I really believe that we are born before we are even delivered into a particular MBTI type. There is evidence to support this kind of a hypothesis, and that strongest evidence is that of prevalence. Time after time, when we look at the prevalence of different MBTI types, we see a very stable pattern. So the distribution of MBTI types has been very stable and consistent over the years and in different cultures as well. And this is the most direct evidence that MBTI types may be an inborn trait. So ISFJs have consistently been the most prevalent MBTI type across all centuries, across all cultures. And the NJ types, the ninja types, which I will also call them, which means to say the NI users, are consistently in the lower 8%. This means that NI will always be a rare trait, regardless of whether INTJs overtake ENTJs or INFJs overtake INTJs, whatever the thing is, they could actually be some discrepancy at the lower bottom, but they will consistently remain at the bottom. That's a good thing because we are rare types. So this consistency suggests that distribution is not a random quality. And this prevalence pattern fits very nicely into an evolutionary perspective. If you look at it very clearly, the distribution of MBTI types clearly supports an evolutionary perspective where we have to have more ISFJ types, more of certain types on the top to preserve the continuity of mankind. We also do not need a lot of NI users because in the past, especially in the medieval eras or the primitive eras, we do not need a lot of people who can predict the future. The focus of a tribe is basically to survive, and this is also why we need to have more of the SI and SE types, the gatherers, than the N types, the intuitives. So to summarize, you are born into your particular MBTI type before you were even greeted by your parents. This sounds amazing, doesn't it? But as a psychologist, I believe that this is true. In our next episode, I'll discuss whether it is possible for you to change your MBTI type if you do not like your MBTI type. So if you happen to be a new viewer of this channel, do consider subscribing so that we can bring you more MBTI, ENTJ, INTJ and fun stuff. Okay, I'm going to sign off now and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.